Welcome back to the CQQC podcast. My name is Gabe, and I'm joined by my co-host Bryan and Nate, as always, and we're back for another episode of the podcast. And this week, we are exactly 1 week leading up to return of Quidditch in North America. The MLQ starting next week, thank God. And yeah, we're super excited for that. And leading into it for this week's episode of the podcast, we're going to be focusing on sort of a ranking of the MLQ jerseys. So this is kind of based on the announcement recently that Boston Forge and the new expansion team Charlotte have released their jerseys. Kind of based on that, as well as the Bar Down YouTube channel has done quite a few of these sort of ranking videos. You can find them pretty much anywhere on YouTube for various different things, but it's kind of started with the retro jerseys in the NHL. And yeah, we're just going to use that as a sort of segue into the start of the season. So boys, how excited are you for returning on the field? That's right there.
I didn't think this day would come.
You know what? The crazy thing is, none of us are playing. None of us are playing Quidditch, and we're like, I'm basically just like shaking, like, come on, give it to me. Like, you're having done the days. You can't come see me now.
Last year's it's just been rewatching like previous games, like from 2019, 2020. It's like we need some new footage.
Oh yeah.
Back.
It's kind of bad when you can't remember what year a certain tournament was like 2 years ago, and we're trying to figure it
out. Yeah.
We definitely need new footage. We're super excited for MLQ to return. And yeah, we're super excited for this episode. So, Bryan, let's start off. We have a couple of questions we're going to go through in terms of jerseys in general, I guess. Sort of describe it.
Yeah, sure. So, here's the kind of question that, like, obviously you both like, when we did the Manatees, we kind of did like spray paint jerseys for our first thing until like our actual jerseys showed up. And like, awesome, cool, that works. But like, when you have your jersey, with all that, what in your mind should make a good jersey? Because like, we have such a we see it with the bottom of our screen. Like, there's such an array of different jerseys, but honestly, you have like ones that someone will absolutely love and some that like honestly I just want to paint. So it seems really comes down to personal preference, but like what really makes a good jersey for you guys?
Of MLQ, like each jersey represents its city they perform. So usually you'd want to express something that is synonymous with, like for example, Ottawa, something that's synonymous with Ottawa that you can now express on like on a jersey to wear and be proud of. So I think it's more on like the people wearing it, of course, where if it's something that they want to express, something they want to show to everyone, then I think if you're able to do that, then you've accomplished the goal of like making a good jersey.
Yeah, I agree. I think the priority for a jersey should be that it should represent the city or the country or the team that it's supposed to represent. And obviously we'll go through all the different jerseys we have there, but I think that's priority number one, is it has to be somewhat representative of that team, in my opinion. Second criteria for me has to be clean. And what I mean by that is it can't be too busy. Like it can't be yeah, that's a good word, cluttered. It can't be cluttered. It has to be clean and fresh, but still represent. And I think the third one is just kind of unique. I think it should also be unique, and I think that kind of goes along with representing where you're coming from. But yeah, so I think that's those are my three criteria when it comes to a jersey. Like, it has to represent, be clean, and unique.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say my like thought process, like real quick, is style and substance. Like breaking that down more, I think like you have a good look to it. It's not like too much because you can really go overboard. It's simple, but it still looks good. But at the same time, like if it doesn't really represent what your city is, it kind of like misses its mark in that way. Like you gotta, I don't know, like you can have a team that's real flashy, and like having like Vegas Golden when they got their jerseys, and they're gold. They're literally gold. They have gold helmets that they can play with that. And like I don't think another team can pull that off if it's not Vegas. Like it's a very kind of specific window that you gotta hit in the paper. Like when you nail it, you nail it. Like, right on.
Like what Gabe said with the uniqueness, like, and like you had mentioned as well, like since they're the only team that can pull off the gold, like they took the opportunity to use it and like not. So it's using your strengths or using what you have available to you that can make you stand.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, well, on to the topic of like being too cluttered. How much detail in your mind, like, is enough detail, and how much is too much detail? Because I know like there's some really cool little things like I've noticed with some injuries and MLQ on sports, and like there's really cool little things that you notice. Oh, that's sick! I see it close, and then like you see it come apart when you're watching it. Like, I didn't even know that existed. Like, but when your minds are like good ways to like show that little detail, like really make a difference there.
I know. I know with like some like they would put like some sort of catchphrase or whatnot like on the tag, like behind the neck or somewhere on the jersey that kind of was like their team motto or whatnot. Um, that's one way you kind of get that tackle something in there.
Yeah.
I think the color scheme is pretty important. I think as well too. I think that's a good way, kind of incorporating sort of, I don't know, like the representation of that particular team, as we kind of alluded to with the gold and Golden Knights. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. Yeah, just like
No, that's a good example. Like, so if anyone's like just listening and like not seeing what we're talking, so Nate's wearing like the Team Canada 2018, I think edition was it, and then like we used it for 2019 games. Really nice like leaf logo there in the middle, right? But like on the middle of it, it has all these like designs. It's really hard to see. Yeah, I don't think the video's gonna catch it. Maybe some like colors of it, but like up close, awesome. But if you're watching it, you're like, cool, Maple Leaf, sick.
Right away, like it's Team Canada just because of the maple leaf, because our flag has the maple leaf. So like you're basically what symbolizes the country in the most simple way, because like that is also like adds on or plays with the whole idea of like not having too much detail. Like that logo alone is enough to represent or to show people that you're Team Canada. So like with that, you can just add like a few details here or there to kind of make it something different from previous years team jerseys. But yeah.
So I guess yeah, like I would say, big scheme like detail is more important than the little like itty bitty stuff. I guess one of the biggest parts of like design is color. So this is kind of like more of a preference part of it, but in your mind, what's like really good color combination? Like what colors? I know you guys are obviously clean as well, but like, is there any color jerseys that you particularly fond of? Like, you like all sports or just bridge or?
I think because like a lot of team in Quidditch and like other major sports, colors that don't get used enough, like pink and like turquoise, those sort of colors that you don't often see. Like it's pretty cool when you see teams pull off pretty sick. Those colors as like their main. But yeah, that I like about.
Yeah.
yeah, I like unique colors as well. But I think just again going back to like what I was saying about like just our jersey being clean and just like fresh looking. I think for me personally, I like blue. I like the blue jersey, or I don't know, something about a white jersey. Maybe not so much like for example in hockey, like I don't like the away version. Like I don't like that white look, but when teams have like a primary like white jersey, there's something to be said about like a nice like crisp like white jersey for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's supposed to, like other than like some of those unique colors that Nate was saying, like pink or just to be kind of more fun. But I do like a nice like royal blue or like honestly any shade of blue really, and like the white.
Yeah, I feel like with like white, like you can add like a couple other colors where it just looks nice. because obviously it stands out on the white. But,
I remember, I know about how the regular black jerseys that they have, like they're nice jerseys, they're really well designed. But in my mind, they're so much like a second place compared to their like alternate whites.
Yeah.
To me, it's like so well done because like you have the detail, they have like the wings in the back, and they become like it's the same like designs as the black one. They just have like color flips and whatever. But like those little designs, it's literally the same markings, but it just becomes kind of more precise and cool because of like the color scheme and how it works. But yeah, like I'm a big fan of a nice white jersey, or I think like mixing things in the right way. It kind of leads into my like next and final question. My favorite jersey in the last I don't know how many years has been the Miami like Vice basketball jerseys. The recent one was very much a step down from what the first one they did. Because those were absolutely beautiful. But what in your mind are like really good like professional sports jerseys that like MLQ, QC, anyone in the British community can kind of take lessons from?
I feel in like hockey in particular, it's more so the logo that kind of makes the jersey. Like my favorite hockey, Chicago Blackhawks, and like they're usually argued to have like the best logo in all major sports, and because of that, they are argued to have one of the best jerseys in hockey. So I feel like for hockey, it's more so like the logo tying together with like the color scheme of the jersey that. And that's what I like. Like that's probably my favorite hockey jersey, even though they're also my favorite team. Um, but yeah, I feel like for major sports, it's like in football and in hockey and probably baseball, it's the logo that kind of makes it stand out. But basketball, they do a pretty cool thing of having like those different kinds of like special edition jerseys that they either wear for certain nights um, that teams are more like able to like play around with colors, use different color schemes outside of like their normal home away uh, jersey combos, and I think yeah they're able to come out with some pretty cool stuff. So I feel like it all depends really, I guess. But,
Yeah, I think logo is important, but I also think too, and I mean it's hard for Quidditch with being such a young sport. I think history plays a huge factor in it too. Like a lot of the really cool designs you see are based on like historical renditions of um, XYZ jerseys. So if you think, for example, like again, go back to hockey. I try to change up it, but yeah, for hockey, again, they did the retro sort of jersey um, sale, I guess, if you will. And like some of those jerseys hit the mark, some of them didn't, and it's just kind of all how you interpret certain logos, certain teams, etc. Yeah, for me, I think part of it too is just like the historical component of some of these teams and how they can reinterpret them into like more of a modern sort of look. So yeah, it's
Yeah, that's fair. Like,
also another too. I'll go ahead, Brian.
oh, I was just gonna say, like, you're talking hockey. In my mind, I think like baseball, like the Toronto Blue Jays, they pulled like a retro version of their like old school how to do it, so they're using that kind of recently. Not as often as I traditionally do, but like, yeah, you gotta. It's good to pull from history, and like, who's just gonna have enough to go back to like really nice old school ones, but like, if you kind of use old stuff in a new way, it's a really good way to make a good.
you
Yeah,
can take
just
it from
to
athletes too, right?
yeah, like to add on to that, like with Queens Quidditch, bring that back to Quidditch. Like our school is known for like the tricolor, so the red, yellow, and blue. So before I started playing Quidditch, the jersey that they had before was like neon yellow with like red and blue, and didn't really have much of a pattern to it. But then once I started playing, they moved on to like this jersey, which still kept like the tricolor colors, and then they just added a pattern to it to make it more clean, make it more um, modern for that time. So of course, like drawn from like previous eras of jerseys is a good way to keep kind of what makes your jersey, like what makes your team, like your jersey, your thing, but also just change the things up.
Yeah, absolutely. I know if anyone's like watching the States, they probably know about this. It's something Canadians as well, but I think in U.S. footage they have no role for like the best jerseys back when national was the game, because it's been a while. Um, but I think there was it's the Bosnian Bear Sharks, so there's like Boston, New York area, and they make up lots of Boston, like a few teams, but they have like a little bear shark. It's like literally a bear in a shark costume, and it sounds like such a weird concept, but it looks beautiful, and it's just like that's what you want to do. You want to find a really nice like branding. Hire a friend who's an artist to draw something for you. Talk to someone who can do some art. Like, oh, I don't think among the three of us we have a ton of artistic talent. At least I don't. But like, hit that person up and have them make those like detail work and make them actually design that logo. Obviously, with your team. Yeah, those little like
Exactly what we did with the Ottawa Otters jerseys. Like we had a friend who was designing scratch. So
cool. That's all I got. So, do we want to start going to the tier list?
Yeah, I think we're ready. Before we get going into it though, I just want to say like this is really kind of like our list. This is just sort of fun. We're not trying to like bash any teams. This is our personal opinion on the jerseys. Just kind of trying to have fun with it. We'd love to also hear what you have to say as well. So we will post a link to the MLQ sort of jersey tier list, so you can kind of give your feedback, and we'd love to hear what you think of the various teams and the various jerseys. So let's just get into it. So the first team we have, we're gonna go in order: north, east, south. The first team I have on the list is Detroit. So there's the turquoise jersey with the I don't know what they call it, a robot-looking guy as their logo.
The
innovator. Yeah, what do you guys think? What do you think it should be on our list? I guess we should also talk about the list too. So the tiers of their sort of list, we have S being like elite status,
elite, superior.
Yeah, superior. A, good, excellent, I would say, but not elite. B, I would say average. C, below average, and then needs an update. Being our lowest tier. We're not trying to bash anyone, just kind of our opinion, but yeah. So those are our lists. Let's get into it. So Detroit, what do you think, boys?
I'm gonna start off. I would say need an update, and I say this from not from the color scheme's great. I love the color scheme. I love the innovator. I would not change a single thing about that logo. I hate the font. I hate the font so badly. The lines are nice. They have like a shoulder thing that's like the gear. Awesome. Keep that. That's cool. I hate the font. And I'm sorry, Detroit, you're listening. I'm not a font guy. I times New Roman on everything, but God, just I can't stand that font.
Okay, so for me, I gave Detroit a C. I was debating between needs an improvement and a C, but I went with C just to be a bit nice, be a bit generous. So I like the color scheme. I like the logo. I also hate the font, like Bryan mentioned. It just doesn't look too good with some numbers. It doesn't look as symmetrical as it should be on a jersey. And at the back, it has like the name, the nameplate, of course, and then most of the back is just that blank turquoise color and a few lines at the bottom. And I feel like from afar as well, like wouldn't really be able to see the pattern of the turquoise black with the lines. So I think that could probably have been a bit thicker, but overall it's a nice jersey. It could still stand the test of time. So I'll give it a C, but it's borderline needs improvement or needs an update.
Yeah, no, I agree with what Bryan said. I had originally put a C minus, so in between kind of C and needs improvement. For me, I would probably lean more towards needs improvement because we're kind of going along here. Again, I agree. I like the turquoise color. I honestly, I'm a Dolphins fan, so I like turquoise. But I think they could have gone a little more brighter in the turquoise. Secondary color, not a huge fan of gray. I think it kind of like diminishes like the wow factor of the turquoise. I get why they might have done it with the innovator and the gears and whatnot. Again, I do also really like the logo. I think the logo is really innovative. No pun intended. But yeah, I just think they could have really incorporated the gear aspect of it with their logo a lot more than just like on the sleeve. And I also really don't like the font. Sorry, Detroit. I really don't like it. So yeah, overall, I would lean probably more towards needs improvement. There's all the right pieces are there for me. Together, it just doesn't really work. Yeah, that's my.
Yeah. Yeah, like the color's great, logo's great. I love the little gear on like the sleeve. It really comes down to I hate the font, and with the black lines running across, which is something I really like in the jersey. It kind of makes the back like name across the back, which is much less important. But like if you're gonna have font there, you want to be able to read it. It kind of makes that hard to see, and it's like it feels like it has the right direction. Um, I'm leaning toward needing an update, but when it comes to like needing an update, it's like minor little switches. So I think let's leave it in C. But for reference, like usually in like tier lists from what I've seen, like if you're on the left side of the tier, that means like you're closer to being moved up, and if you're on the right side, you're closer to being moved down. So like we'll probably have it kind of.
All right, so let's move into our second
we'll wait and see.
jersey from the north. That being our first Canadian team as a 2, the Toronto Raiders. So what do we think of the Toronto jerseys, boys? Try not to get biased, Brian.
Oh, I do like them. I wore a lot of like black jerseys and red and yellow playing the Griffins for years. I didn't wear a lot of red jerseys through like baseball, surprisingly. But like I think it's a really nice jersey. They have like the side CN Tower up the side, which is really good look. I'm kind of again. I think the logo is great. The font is good. My one problem with it that I think Gabe you alluded to was the gray doesn't go well with turquoise, and the gray font doesn't look great with the red. Like the black sleeves look good. Use the black on the lettering. Like I don't know why that was the choice, but other than that, I put it in like the A tier, like the middle of the A tier. Definitely.
So
like
for me, so I also like
but it's really
the fact that the jersey's red.
solid.
Like not too many jerseys. Pretty sure none of them are primarily red. So when I see red, and obviously being Canadian, you kind of think automatically it's probably a Canadian team. Like you mentioned, the CN Tower down the side, it's something new, something unique to the city, and it kind of represents the city in a way that anyone who doesn't know much about Toronto, they can say, "Oh, that's a CN Tower. I know that's a Toronto team," and of course, it's there in the logo as well. I also like the idea they put with like the kind of like the raccoon scratches going across the front. Um, I'm not sure how visible that is from afar, but up close, it's a nice detail to include there. The font is nice, like that. You also mentioned the gray. I don't like the gray. I think they should simply switch the gray from gray to white. I think that automatically would make the jersey a bit more nice, a bit more clean. But other than that, I think it's an overall pretty solid jersey. I gave it a B. I put it in the B range, closer to an A than middle tier B. So I was fighting between that one a lot, fighting between an A and a B. But I think with the jersey I have in the A category, I feel like it's probably a step below those ones. So I put in the B, which is pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same lines. Again, as what you guys have said, I'm kind of cheating. I put it as a B plus. Again, it's kind of in between the two. Like I like the red. Again, I like all the little small details, the CN Tower, all that kind of stuff. For me, it's just a color. I don't like gray unless it's kind of paired properly. Like Nate, you hit it on the head perfectly. If that was white on the jersey, for me, automatic A. That's just kind of like personal preference. I just don't like how gray blends with those colors. But if it was a red, black, white, honestly, I would almost need closer to an S if that was the case. But yeah, in terms of like representation, it's fantastic. The red, as soon as I see red, instantly think Canadian.
Cool.
We'll talk about the other Canadian team later. But yeah, no, for me, I think overall the design of the jersey is fantastic. Let's put it in A for now. I think it's going to be probably like maybe a little bit lower on the lines of A, but I think for me it's like A minus B plus for me.
Yeah, well, as we get more stuff in there, like if we have to bump it down, it will move down, or it can move up. We'll see where it kind of sits depending on it.
So the next team on our list for the North Division was Indy.
Absolute greatness.
So what do you think of Indy? Was
next up, what do you have? I like. There's one thing I love about Indy. I like the concept of it. I just think they've had the same jersey for a while, and I wish they changed some things. I had needs improvement. That seems really harsh, but I love the fact it's orange. It's a really good, nice, strong orange, and I know they have like the intensity that like sun rays looks really good. It's kind of something different. Because a lot of things are like stripes or they go through the middle. This is more like off-centered. It looks great. For
me, I also put it as needs improvement. You also alluded to it, like the fact like this is their only version of a jersey they ever had since they became a team in 2015. So it's definitely in need of like an update. I'm not a fan of orange on jerseys, so that was also it's like if I had to pick a color. Oh. Sunrise.
I think they did have a previous jersey name.
Okay. So yeah, the orange, not my thing. The logo, it took me for you to explain the intensity of the sun rays for me to understand what their logo was.
That's really good.
I had an idea it was the sun, but like it just didn't make sense why they were called in like the Indianapolis intensity when I don't understand kind of the reference to that. Yeah. I think you're probably right on that, but yeah, like the font's alright as well. But like you said, mainly it's just that it needs an update. I think for the time period that it was in, it's a pretty nice jersey. It's something different, something unique, even though I don't like orange. But of course, not many jerseys are orange, so that's a cool thing to be different in. But I think it could definitely just be updated to something a bit more modern, something that probably ties better with the name intensity than what I believe is the sun. But yeah.
Yeah, I would say other than like for me, other than the color, like I like orange again because I mean, Dolphins fan, I like the orange, I like the turquoise. I just think that it's too unique for me. Like I think at the time, like when the league started, I think it was a really cool concept. The rays, it's just all really unique aspects, but I think it's just like too unique that it's like almost kind of cheesy in a way. So for me, I'd also put it as needs improvement. Sorry, Indy fans. Indie players, but yeah, I think again, really cool colors. I think they have the sort of intensity. I think that concept could be a little more clear, as Nate kind of alluded to there. But yeah, I also kind of had it in the improvement. But yeah, okay. So moving on, we have Minneapolis. So recent addition team to the league. What do we think of the Monarchs jerseys?
As someone who saw them in person, I'm going like high A tier, low S tier. They are really, really nice. My slightest criticism was like
I was fighting between an A and
kind of patterns.
I put it into the B, but that's like a B plus, probably A minus.
Gorgeous.
Again, I don't like the orange. That was a turn off for me automatically. But the real cool detail I liked, of course, the Toronto, but like the design in the main body of their jersey, like they have the monarch and the light purple. I'm not sure how light it is in person. I haven't seen it in person, but I think that's a pretty cool design. Of course, the to fulfill the concept of like being a monarch, you know what they're representing, you know like what they're trying to get across. So I think it's a pretty solid jersey. It's something different, something unique, something that represents the city very well. Just not a fan of the orange. Maybe if it wasn't orange, it would be an easy A for me. But B plus A minus is kind of why I went for with this one.
Yeah, for me, honestly, like I like I said in the beginning, I love white in jerseys, and for me, I think like Mini like nailed it on the head. Like I also really like their logo. Like this is what kind of contributes to my score. But I had it like low S, high A. I would put it above Toronto in that sense. I love the like you said, Bryan, like the sort of like vein kind of that goes to the jersey. For me, it's all as close as it can get to S class. The only reason why I had put it in A is just because.
Yeah.
Like the S class jerseys were just that much better. Otherwise, for me, it's S class. But
I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry.
I didn't know you hated orange that much, Nate.
I know. I just don't like orange in jersey. I don't know why. I just feel like it doesn't really combine too well with many colors, unless if it's white. In this case, it does. For me, it's just I don't like orange, so like I can't put it that high, even though we should be objective. But of course, it's perfect. It's personal preference. So. Okay.
There's only two more jerseys that really kind of have that like orangish color, I would say, left. And they both kind of go in a similar direction, but we'll get to that when we get there. But there's like the complementary color, it's supposed to be like orange and blue. And like neither of the orange jerseys that we've had, neither have blue. And it's like
Yeah, we're on at the north with Cleveland.
Here we go.
I don't want just like 100% totally with blue jerseys. Like
Should I start or Bryan want to go?
But like it's like somehow, some way. Anyways, on to the next one. Cleveland Rift. Okay. I have a hot take slightly. I had the Cleveland Rift jersey really like a very solid B tier, and then when the Boston jersey came out, it just got diminished so fast because like you can kind of see it like sitting here beside the Boston jersey, and with the Boston like pink and purple, it looks like such a
So where'd you put that? Like which category?
thing because of the nice new like purple Boston jersey. And that's where like
For me,
I really like it.
I put it as needs an update.
But
I'm not sure if this is their only version of the jersey they had, but I feel it's too simple. Purple color is nice. I used the gray stripe. I preferred if there were white stripes.
Like
I think white would look better than the gray in the detail or in the trim. Cleveland Rift or Riff. I don't know what that represents necessarily. Their logo, I don't think is. But like a guitar. Yeah. I feel like they could have done a bit better to like make that like if that's the concept they're going for, to make it actually look more like guitar strings, I guess. And make it a bit more rock and roll. I think there's a few more things they could have added in to make it a pretty nice jersey.
But yeah,
I think it was just a bit too simple for me.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same lines. I had put it in needs improvement. C. For me. It's very very similar to Detroit. It has the right aspect. Like it has again. I also like purple. Again, I just for some reason gray for me just does not like. I don't know. None of the gray jerseys in the league really figured it out for me. So again, it has all the right concepts and like components to the jersey. It just together didn't really work for me. So yeah, like I think I agree. It's kind of just one step below Cleveland, or sorry, not Cleveland, Detroit. but it just, yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
You have the like each team's jersey and what it looks like, yeah, because the number is clearly white. I feel like why go for gray when we can just simply go for white? Like white looks better
Yeah,
on
I'm not
any
picturing
base,
it.
like
It
solid
looks better
color.
if it's white or gray,
And
but like looking at the high res
I also think too,
picture
like
clean.
if they were going for like that whole rock and
website,
roll theme,
it's
I think they
very
could have
much
done
gray.
so much more with it.
Mm-hmm.
If that was the approach they're going with, again, I don't know for sure, so I'm not gonna sit here and like try to roast them for it. But I just think that if that was sort of the theme that they were going for, if they're choosing purple, they could have. I don't know. I just think that they could have done a little bit better in terms of.
Probably like put a bit more detail into the purple because it's just the like the stripes on like the sleeve and in the front and back. But like if you did something within the purple itself, like what the Monarchs did or the Raiders, that could easily bump it up a full category, and then add in white will probably even bump it up to another full category. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Detroit has the font. The font kills me. Indy has had the same kind of design forever, and I like the orange. Nate doesn't, but I think they can go in a new direction and they can do something nice. Cleveland, I like the purple. It's different. It's kind of getting overtaken as Boston's kind of new purple scheme as well. But they have so much potential for I wish they went in with a little bit more detail. And I don't know. It's both
Yeah.
of
So
the
moving
needs
into the
need
East,
an
but
update are
Boston's
very
new
much
Boston Forge
like
jerseys.
in a loving
From the Knight
way.
Riders now they have their new
It's not that we don't
Forge
like
looking
the
jerseys,
jersey.
which
It's that
yeah. What do you guys think?
revamp it and just make it a little newer, and you have
for me,
a hit.
it's an S. I'll just say that from the start.
Okay, on to the
Even like comparing it back to when they were the Boston
Boston.
Knight Riders, the purple they used then and the purple they use now, I like this purple a bit better, even though it's a bit darker. I still like how the pink flames contrast on it. I think it works better on this purple than their previous version. I like the pink in the shorts. Pink's one of those colors that's not used quite often, so implementing that. I believe they also have like white and purple stripes going down the shorts. So the white, or maybe it's a different color than white, but it's better than gray. Um, and just the whole idea of like Boston Forge, the flames, how they're like blacksmiths, and I just like the whole concept of it. It represents the city well. The font is different. It's not one of those typical sports fonts you see. It has some accents, some detail to it, so I like that. And I think it's also clean enough. There's not any detail on the sleeves, but because you have the flames on the front and back, and this kind of that's kind of like your main detail and what stands out. I don't think it's even necessary to have any extra detail or extra trim using the neckline. So for me, when I first saw the jersey, like loved it from the start. So for me, it's an S, clear S for me.
Yeah, honestly, like I was kind of along the same thought lines as Nate. I'd put it as an A plus, just again based on some of the other jerseys that I liked a little bit more and thought more were more superior. But I also really like the purple. I think the way that they kind of blended the pink in, it looks like flames. I think the reason why I didn't give it an S is because I think if the shorts
Gabe,
weren't there, it would look a little bit off, off. So I think that kind of really the shorts with the if you're gonna do the shorts like the whole uniform, I think that's where you get the S for me. Just because it looks like burning flames, and I like the concept of it, like Nate said, with the blacksmith and that kind of aspect of Boston's history. Um, Personally, I actually like the Knight Rider jerseys a little bit better. Just personal preference. I like like that purple with the neon yellow. But yeah, for me, it's kind of like a little bit better than Mini. But like I think there's a few other ones that are better than it in terms of superiority. But yeah, it's up there for me for sure.
white out.
Yeah, I'm gonna toss that in the S tier now. Like, yeah, I'm kind of the same thing. Like, it's a really great idea. It got executed well. I wish
Yeah,
like the
The
plane
New York
had like
Titans.
a little
Right
bit
here.
like a white or something. I don't know. I don't know if I'm overblowing
Uh,
there, but like
for me, again,
something else to kind of toss in there. But I think it's amazing.
I think the issue
Great.
for me with this
I
jersey is the
I
color
like
scheme.
some other
I
ones
do like the
personally,
Titan
but I think
logo.
it's total
I
like
do like the black
it's a
and
hit
the red.
right off the
Just
bat.
for me, I'm not a huge fan of the yellow kind of
Well,
like
on to
orangey
the next
color. I think
one.
that's what kills it for me. I do like the concept of like the straight lines, whatever. I
Gabe, I
do think
want
they
you
could
to
have done
opinion
more in terms
first.
of incorporating the Titan component to it. Whether it's like a flame, I don't know if I'm missing any accents in the jersey somewhere, but I think it could have been a little bit better somehow incorporating that. For me, I said it was a B. I said it was average. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't like amazing. But for me, again, I think the orangey kind of like yellow they have in there, and then just not incorporating more of the Titan component of it into the jersey was kind of the sort of me kind of saying it's average.
Hot take here. This is like the one jersey that it was like the last one for me to categorize. Uh, but hot take, I gave it a needs improvement.
Oh, okay.
Okay, okay, okay. So I was about yes, I was
Sure.
about to say I was about to say it's basically the Vancouver's Flying V
Nate,
jersey,
same
like the same
ideas,
black
different
with like
ideas. But you,
the red, orange, yellow. Um, so number one, New York. It's one of the biggest cities in the world. I feel like
that's not that.
if you're representing New
Nate,
York, you
that's
wanna,
not too hot
I
because
guess,
I
like
had the
go
same
all out. I
idea.
guess it's just a reputation of like
The
the New
same
York jersey, like
idea.
the New York Rangers jersey. It's a solid jersey for hockey.
Reminds me of
But I feel like you could do a lot more
school
encapsulating the city of New York in a jersey. I feel there's too much black. It's very plain. Besides the V at the top, but I feel like there's so much empty space. You could add anything into it. Maybe it's the skyline. Maybe some extra details in there. If you want to even like encapsulate the whole subway system a bit better. Because again, with like the white details within like the V's, I don't notice that from afar, but of course I have the picture zoomed up. I see it, but I feel like something could have done better if you want to like encapsulate that whole aspect of New York. What Gabe said as well with the Titan, the fact that you have like a Titan as your mascot, like that's like what you're representing. But I don't really see that in the jersey. I see something completely different with the whole subway system. Um, Not too fond of the red, the dark red color, or the orange. um, of course, like this is probably their only jersey they had, if I'm not mistaken. So I guess at the time, for me, like I feel like as representing New York, you kind of wanna. That's kind of like one of the easier cities to make something um, look unique because like all the different things you can address in your jersey. So I feel like in the future they probably want to look at updating their jersey a bit. But yeah, for me it was hard to categorize this one. Like I was thinking, should it be a C? Should it be needs an update? But I went with needs an update just to be a bit more.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna cut the difference and call it a C. There, I never noticed the little white thing kind of being like the subway line idea. Um, uh, I like the jersey, and I
So you
think that the
give that needs an
Vancouver
update then.
Flying V. It's
I'm
not
joking.
really
I'm
great
joking.
jersey,
He
so
said you're your
it's
favorite,
good.
so it's like,
But I agree with what Nate said. I don't really know how well it represents New York. Like, I don't know. I don't know what else to add, but yeah. Okay, on to my favorite New Jersey. Charlotte. I'm no. This is what I want the standard for every league of jerseys to be at. This, no one chooses a brown jersey ever. The Cleveland Browns like the only jersey that's a brown color.
I gave it. I put it in the A category.
This is
probably one of the higher ones versus the ones that are ranked there. I probably put it at the front of the other two.
It's hard to see in this picture, obviously.
Like for me, the big thing I really enjoyed was the detail in the main.
The detail,
I guess it probably would have been black, but of course the red font they use with all the detail, with all the flight plans and everything. I really like that and the detail that was put into that. If someone designed that or they found a picture, I don't know, but I really like that whole aspect of it. The font is something different. I like that. It looks a bit orangey yellow, but it works for this one. I just don't know about the turquoise. I guess if it's a complementary color, it works, but I feel like if you could go with just those two colors without the turquoise, that would probably go into the S category for me. I like the logo, of course. I like how they the big thing for me is the detail in the main jersey.
I hate to burst your bubble, boys, but I'm not.
Oh,
a big fan of it. I love the logo. I love the concept. I think the fact that it's brown. It kind of reminds me of like Amelia Earhart and like the whole sort of aviation kind of concept. I just don't like brown in jerseys. Like I'm kind of opposite of Bryan. I get what you mean in terms of like it being unique, and I guess I'm kind of contradicting myself in the sense that I do like unique, but the only reason why this isn't like an A or like higher for me is because I just don't like brown. So like I can't, but that's a personal preference. So I will be more lenient to what you guys are saying. I had it like in the B range, but just because like that's the personal preference for me, I'm willing to put it higher up in the A category. Just because again, I don't like it's kind of like when they not like orange. I don't like brown jersey, but I'm willing to let's put it in the A. Just because again, I agree that the detail, like the flight patterns and the concept of the jersey is what I really like, and I'd like to see more of that in the league. Just like kind of promoting again what we saw with Boston and just like that unique touch to a jersey. I think is really important. It's something that we've kind of missed in some of the earlier renditions of certain jerseys. So.
And even though like there's a lot of detail in it too, it's also just clean. Especially from the back, it's just like the aviator's name, last name, then your number, but then it's the whole design pattern again without extra details added in. So even though it's a bit busy, it still has like a clean look to it.
Yeah, so we have the Rochester whiteout again, East Division.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna split the difference between Monarchs and Toronto. We can shuffle it around there earlier, but I feel like that's fair. I love it. I just think it's different. I really hope I'm a big fan. I'm gonna see them do well this year, season, so maybe that's it as well. Next one. So when this came in, it's hard to see.
Yeah, for me, I'd also put it in the S category. Like, there's nothing, like you said, there's like nothing I would change or even add in. Looking at it, you know exactly what it's representing in Rochester, like the whole environment and everything there. White as your base jersey, that's one of the first jerseys. I think that's the second white base jersey that we're looking at. I feel like anything has a base of white and you add like a trim to it or some other, but it just looks nice. It looks clean. I'm not sure how clear, like to see the snowflakes from afar, but this is where gray actually does work because, of course, you don't want to have like blue and add like another color into it, which doesn't really fit well with like the dark greens and everything, like the forestry aspect, and of course black is too dark. So I think the gray works here in the sense where you get the idea that there's snowflakes that would normally be white, but because the jersey is a white base, you want to kind of have them appear gray so you can see them. You can see that detail in the jersey. But yeah, I love the trim, love the font, the whole forestry at the bottom of the layers. Love that as well. So yeah, I wouldn't change anything.
Yeah, I agree. Hands down, this is my favorite jersey personally. It's definitely an S for me. There's one other jersey that was close, but for me, it's a logo that and like the name. I don't want to give it too much away, but the logo and the name that kind of gets it for me. But yeah, just for me, this is hands down favorite jersey. Like Nate said, this is the one jersey for me that the gray works.
Yeah.
It's an accent. It's not like a whatever. But yeah, hands down, it's personally it's my favorite jersey. So
Yeah, same here. Same favorite jersey.
Cool. All right. So moving on again in the East, we have the second Canadian team. We will get to the Canadian aspect of this jersey. It is the Ottawa Black Bears.
Here we
I feel like
go.
it's gonna be pretty bad.
Ooh. Oh, okay. As the non-black here, I'll go first real quick. I don't think it's that bad. I like the light blue. I like the
So,
gray.
I'm gonna be as
I have
non-biased as
issues
possible,
with
so I put it
I don't like the
B, but I probably put it to low tier B, so
like
like C plus B minus, but I put it in the B category.
I like.
So when it comes to like say Canada, of course this was Canada's first team, so you'd probably think they'd come out with like a red as the base, but they went with blue, which is different. Okay, I'm not sure why, but okay. And then the whole Black Bears aspect. I mean, I know there are Black Bears in not necessarily in the Ottawa area, but more in the outside of the city. There are spawnings of Black Bears here and there, but I'm not too fond of even the name of Black Bears, but that's a personal thing. And like going with the name, I don't really see that like the bear claw as much in the jersey. You have like the blue and black stripes. I do like the stripes. I do like the pattern of it, but you don't see much of the claw details like Toronto does with the raccoon or the Monarchs do with the whole monarch. I think you could have implemented that a bit better. I do like the detail on the sleeve. I do like how the lines are thick enough where you can see them from afar. It does look nice, it does look clean, but I feel like the more Canadian elements into it, especially being like Canada's team for so many years, and even like if the blue was red, I feel like that would be even like simply just easily a better, nicer jersey. And then the font as well, not too much of it. It's almost like NASCAR race car font where it's like it doesn't do well on the jersey, but I mean I guess it's something different. I don't know whether the team uses it, but I don't know. Some good things I like about it, some things I think they could definitely improve on. Um, mhm. Even like in the jersey, it's like who are they representing? Because it's like you think Canada, you think red, so it's like you don't know their Canada's team at the time, so it's like
I'm
blue, like where they from.
Picture
And I feel like even add in white
like the numbers
because right here it's just black and
I wish
black and blue. I feel like if you had like white trim, that would make it look even nicer with the red and blue. I feel like going with red would probably be preferred, but that's all I'll say. That's all I'll say for now. I'll let Gabe speak.
Yeah, no, I agree with what you said there, Nate. For me, the biggest killer is that it's just not red. Like when like you nailed it. You nailed the nail on the head there when you said if it was red and black. For me, it's automatic, like solid B. I had put it as a C plus, so kind of like borderline between B and C. Based on kind of the points you guys have said, I'll settle for the B and say it's average. But yeah, so like the number one thing for me is it's not red. The other saving grace for me is that it's like I do like the stripes of it. Like I think it like reminds me a lot of like a rugby type shirt, like jersey. So I like that like kind of clean aspect of it, the simplicity of it. And I do, like you said, Nate, I do wish there was some more like incorporation of the claw. Sort of like what I feel like the Raiders took a lot of the feedback I think that the Blackbirds jerseys got and incorporated, and that's why I think their jersey is so much better. Yeah, like the red, the claw, the touch of like the CN Tower, like making it more like there's no like I know like Ottawa is the capital, but like there's just no like nothing about that jersey screams like capital of Canada. Like
Canada,
Ottawa. Like, that's what it's missing for me, to make it more of an elite jersey. But yeah, overall I would say it's like average at best. So I think B is fair. Like
yeah, I put like low tier B.
Yeah, there's other Bs that I would put like as a B, more of a B plus that we'll get to. But it'll definitely kind of meet.
I feel like if they're like, they went with like the All Blacks, like black as the main jersey and put like red trim, red and white trim in, I think that'd be pretty nice.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
Ottawa.
Yeah, rounded out with the Admirals, Washington. What do you think?
Okay, where's my list?
It's on like this side. Oh, it's over here. Yeah. It was shipped over.
No, I think it's again it's nothing terrible. It's nothing like eye popping. It's a B for me. It's like
last
average.
one of the East.
I gave it I was struggling between a B and C for this one. I put it in the C category. I think some of the B ones are a bit better. I guess if we get to once we get to them,
I
but
think it's a little bit better than Detroit. Put it in like
yeah.
Like 2 years ago with
But
everyone else. I don't know.
I don't know. Like again, you're representing Washington,
I
not the state, but Washington D.C. I feel like it added some element of the Capitol or the White House, or whatever. But again, what you said, like with the color, like the yellow, neon yellow color, I understand they use that because that's in their logo, so they kind of use those same colors. But I feel like they could have also done a bit more with the jersey front itself. It's pretty empty, I guess, or just like bare. They do like the stars on the shoulders, also the white stars as well. But yeah, I think you could have done something in that empty, like Washington D.C. A bit better, and also with the yellow trim on the sleeves and the bottom of the jersey. I'm not too fond. I guess they wanted to present their logo colors and only use colors, so I guess I understand, but maybe you can change that yellow in that logo.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be better. It could like
I think
like it's missing a wow factor for me.
I feel like it's one of those one of those teams where it's like you have a lot that you can pull from with the city you represent that it should be easier for you to be like more creative, I guess, with their jersey, I guess. Where they kind of
Yeah, last division. So we're moving into the South. Our first jersey we have for the South is San Antonio Soldados.
I love their little nautical anchor.
Oh, okay.
I wish they used that one. I don't know, but not terrible. I don't know. I just it doesn't. Yeah. Cool. Down to the final five now, boys. just immediately S tier for me.
Hot take.
I-
So
I-
this jersey
I
does have
love
orange, or I guess a
San
neon
Diego's,
orange. So you'd think I'd put it in the low category, but I actually gave it an A.
It looks
Um,
different. Like I like.
For some reason, this like
you go for the classic stripes across, and then you.
the orange
cut it in
isn't
the
too
middle.
intense,
You have like
the intensity,
three-tiered
but
color.
but it's in there. And I like how they have like a different shade of red, pink, in there as well. I like the whole faded lines going across at different levels, and even with the shorts, if you have like it also has like one short leg being all blue, the other short leg being like the split of the orange and the I'll call it red/pink. So I like that aspect as well. It's different than other team shorts that are just either like a solid color or just a stripe down the side. So it's different. Let's see.
Ooh. It reminds me of watching it when I started playing footage when I was like just starting out. I remember watching a lot of one of the World Cups, and Lone Star was like that indie team back then that was really good. I think they're still around now, but they have
For me, I also had it as an A, just because I think that for me as a Blackbirds player, that's like almost what I would want to see, like the Blackbirds jersey just has the red and the black, like that's like kind of like almost the perfect like rendition of what I want to see. The only reason why it's not S for me, I don't know, like I'm not a huge fan of the color scheme. I feel like if the blue kind of is a little bit off-putting to me. Just like it's just red, orange, blue. It's not like I'm no artist by any means, but just the color palette, it's kind of weird. But I do agree. I like the unique aspect of it. I like sort of how they have that, like I don't know, it's like a weird like checker pattern that kind of like fades into the like almost like a gradient, like a checkered gradient sort of thing they have there. I do like that. I also really like their font. I think that kind of it plays along with that whole like. There was this game I remember playing when I was learning how to play poker. It was like this
Texas Hold'em
game. This guy, he looked exactly like they have the guy in the logo. So for me, that's why it's like in the A category. I don't with those A jerseys in there. I don't know where I'd put it in the A, but I think it's a solid A for me, just because it's almost exactly like I said what I'd want to see.
I put it at least in front of Toronto.
KC, Kansas City next. Stampede. I don't know if you want to take this one.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure. Let me just put this in. Okay. But Kansas City Stampede it's an improvement. I'm not sure if this is their first version, second version of their jersey, maybe. Still, like, represented in Stampede and like the bull. I feel like you could have added elements of that in some shape or form in this jersey. I feel like it's too simple. It's just the color gradient going from the yellow down to the red. So like the colors they use, but I feel like it's just too simple with like the stripes, the faded stripes going straight down all around. I feel like, I mean, the font isn't bad. Like the font, it's cool as well with on the sleeves, like the trim. It's not a solid color, but it kind of continues the whole idea of the jersey, where it's going from orange or yellow fade into the deep red. I like that, but I feel like mainly it's too simple. It doesn't represent Stampedes at all, I don't think. I feel like you could have done something completely different to represent Kansas City. I feel like it's just kind of I mean, I feel like it's too simple for jerseys. Like it's kind of like just playing it safe. You have like your colors, you have like simple stripes. I'm not sure what they represent, and I feel like you could have done more to kind of encapsulate the whole idea of like Kansas City stamp, which I feel is missed for the most part.
Yeah, I agree. I had it in like the low C needs improvement category. I just think that again, I do like you said, I do like the bowl. I like the sort of logo, but again, to me it's just too simple. There's no wow factor as we kind of alluded to with like sort of Washington type jersey, but it's almost like a level below that. Like there's just at least Washington
Yeah.
had like um, like the anchor, like you said, Bryan, and there's some like it's representing the city, like the city somewhat, but like whereas Kansas City, like, there's no, I don't know, maybe I'm missing something, I don't know, but like it just seems like they kind of like put so much detail into the logo, and it was like as if the jersey was due at a certain time, like okay, let's just put something together really quickly, and I just like put colors on a canvas and like create. I don't know. For me, it's just yeah, it's definitely missing that like representation of Kansas City, and it's missing like I said the wow factor or like some representation.
Anchor.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah, I
like
don't
you
have
like
much to
any
add
team could take the
because
jersey,
I agree
flip the
with
colors to
most
like for example Black Bears, they can make the
they don't make
jersey
essentially
black fading down to a blue sort of thing, or like any team can take their colors and just replace the colors here, and like it's kind of the same idea. You don't know
their
what they're
logos I like.
representing.
Cool.
And something they can easily do as well is take the font from the Stampede and the logo and use that for the numbers instead of using
Jersey
whatever font that is. But
Kansas City. I couldn't tell you unless I knew that it was
All right,
Kansas City.
Leaf
Like,
City.
it doesn't.
I'm gonna take this one and
I would
go.
love for them to do like
This is
some
my
sort
second
of,
favorite jersey. The
like
only reason why, like I
smokehouse
said, the only reason why this isn't
barbecue.
my
Like,
favorite is just
I
I
don't know,
think
like
that
you,
like somehow
you
like
can
like
go in some
space
different
space
ways.
something instead of just
Pull
legends
some
would
like
make it my
elements of
favorite
the
jersey.
rodeo
I
stuff.
think that I love
Awesome.
the Captain
Love
American
it.
type vibe. I love
But I don't see
like the
that in this
stars
jersey.
and
So
the
yeah,
blue and white. Like I said at the beginning, blue and white are my favorite colors for jerseys. So for me, it's again, this might be personal preference biasing it to Ness, but I think it's got to be in that realm, anyways.
I put it at high A S, so in between. I feel it'd be on the lower end of S, but definitely at the top of A. I like the whole
yeah,
I like the whole stars space, sorry, aspect at the top, and how it fades down into the white. Like before the Boston Forge jersey came out, this jersey is kind of different in the sense it's not like just a pattern on the jersey. It's like some sort of artistic um, design there. Um, Red, white, blue, of course, America, but also just those colors just fit really well together. I feel like any jersey that has like a good amount of white, it just looks clean automatically. The red trim works great. The number font based off the MLQ website doesn't looks really simple to me. So I think that would be something I would change, and if they did, then that would probably easily put that into an S for me. But overall, I love the whole idea of it. You know what it's representing. Um, ties in well with the logo. Like you said with like the legends part, I feel like if it was something else, that would make it even better. Um, yeah, overall, like the whole design to it, it's different as well compared to all the other jerseys. But yeah, high A, low S for me. I feel like if
let's-
they, yep,
No, go ahead, Nick. Go ahead.
yep. I feel like if they took the whole, like the top half of the jersey with like the space and just made it the full body, that'd probably be a bit better as well. Um, but I think the font for me is really what kills it, in the bad sense, which probably puts it even maybe like a solid A, lower tier A. But yeah, I had an A category for that.
I would honestly, like, after hearing your feedback, again, I'm
Yeah.
trying to be partial, not biased. I would honestly put it after Toronto because for me, going back to my criteria of what makes it a good jersey, it's like I don't really know much about League City, so maybe there's some sort of aspect of space to League City I don't know, but that's the factor that's missing for me. It's like that representation factor. Like if you look at the S category, you have Rochester with the whiteout, makes sense. Boston the fourth makes sense, and then like kind of levels off from there. You have many, et cetera, et cetera. Whereas League City, it's like again, I don't really know what represents League City, so from that, by having a space makes me think there was like a space station or something in League City, and maybe there is, I don't know of, but so yeah, I don't know. It's yeah, we'll leave it in the A there. Yeah, that's just kind of my opinion for it, but yeah.
Well, here on the MLQ it says it's so it's based in the city of Houston. Wait, yeah, but the suburb. I was thinking, should it just be called like Houston something? But it's a yeah. It says here it's a suburb of League City, Texas, based
Okay, well that
in
makes
Houston.
sense. So then, yeah, where you
So
have it's good then. It's yeah, in that like area is good. Okay, so two more to go here. New Orleans, the curse. What do we think?
okay, when I look at this jersey, let me get the picture. The whole the whole I don't even call it checkered, but the whole diamond design going down the center. It looks like a necktie to me. Like if you wear their jersey, it looks like you're kind of wearing like a necktie that goes all the way down. Um, it's got like a brownish orange to it. I don't like orange. I don't like how it looks on the purple. And then you have the green as well. For me, like I like having white, a good element of white in jerseys, and this obviously lacks that. The green trim at the end I don't like because it goes like
That makes so
you
much
have the
more
purple
sense.
and then goes orange and the green at the very end, and I don't like how it ends off with the green. Mainly for me, it's the color combination. I don't like those three colors working together. I know that's like their logo colors, but personally, I'm not really a fan of that. I feel with like the whole design going down the middle, kind of just it really limits you in what you can do. Because I feel like adding anything else to the sides of that just kind of just makes the jersey too busy. And obviously, you want something more clean. Um, so for me, I would do something completely different with the logo or with the design they have going down the center. And then because of where that's placed, they have the number. I'm not sure if other team or most teams do this, but they have the number right under the logo. So it's kind of like you have a lot going on the right side or the left side, and then you have that whole design going down the middle, and then nothing on the left. And I'm not sure what it looks like from behind. Maybe it's a solid purple, but I feel again like the whole New Orleans, and then they're going for the New Orleans curse. I feel like you could have done something to kind of implement like the skull into the jersey. I just don't understand the whole pattern going down the middle. That just threw me off. I didn't like that.
like this is.
Yeah, I'm kind of
like
the same
I was just saying,
same boat
like,
as Bryan there. Like
it's like, does it look good?
I personally
Is it,
like I don't like the
colors
color
and, like,
combination, but I
simplicity-wise
understand the color
decent enough?
combination and it makes
Like,
sense to
does
me
it
and it
represent
represents the
city?
city, so I
I think it
I
represents the
can't
city
say
really
anything
well.
against
Like,
that. And again, like you said,
I
about the
would
curse
like
and like
to go
that all
like,
aspects of that it works.
you know what? Here
But
I
yeah,
come.
now that Nate said the
Borders
necktie
open.
thing,
But,
it's just like driving me nuts and like it's making me like
that's like
less.
their kind of like
But
pattern. I don't know.
yeah,
What
I don't know.
history
It's
they
kind of
have,
it's
but,
kind of like
that's
in
very
that
much
like
I think
because
like
now that we have a sort of a
they
set
kind of have a similar
like
kind of
template of like where
thing
we
on
think
there
movies are.
somewhere.
It's kind of like in the for me it's in the BBC range
The
because
problem
it
is,
has the representation
like,
aspect.
city-wise, cool.
I don't like the
It's
color scheme, but
curses,
it
worldviews,
makes
like,
sense for the
like
city.
spirits and like a lot of stuff.
So like comparing it to like
like
so like Washington
culture,
and Detroit
awesome.
that have the like they're like honestly missing those aspects, and for me I think
The jersey
representation
otherwise kind
factor
of
is
misses the mark for the rest.
slightly
Like,
more important. I think.
it,
I
yeah,
don't know. It's somewhere in that range for me. I
necktie.
don't know.
That's all I can picture. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
I think like the pattern could go into like the sleeves, like that would work. Do something with the whole actual like the front
Yeah.
torso, but or even like use that as a trim for the bottom as well and the sleeves. But yeah, I mean if it does its job of representing the city and everything, I think you can't put anything lower than a B in that case, I guess.
That's what I'm thinking. Alrighty. Last but not least, we have Austin. The Austin Outlaws from the
Yeah.
south to wrap it up. And what do you
I
think
think
of
he
Austin?
hits the representation factor a lot better than the other jerseys hit by like color and like simplicity marks. Like that's, but it's just that like I wish they were like a pane glass kind of thing, like with that pattern somehow better. I don't know. I really don't know. But awesome. Sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's the edge of here to here. Cool. Last ones.
I put it in a B category. So even without seeing what we have right now, I had it as the B. Uh, the colors so black, blue, of course similar to the black bears, but it's a different shade of blue and everything. So the white, what appears to be white, is actually like a whitish gray or a grayish white. Where I feel like if you just went straight up white, it would feel like that's kind of an element that Ottawa Black Bears could have implemented by added in white. It'd probably make their jersey look more. I guess. I like the barbed wire detailing going down instead of using like ordinary stripes. For me, it's weird how it's like black at the top, and then it just changes to like the blue when the barbed wire is going down. I feel like something could have been digested where it's not just like distinctly black and the plain black, and then you have the blue barbed wire going down, and then the black trim at the end there. I feel like they could have tied that in a bit better. I do like the font. It's basically the same that they use in the logo. Austin Outlaws that whole theme, I feel like they could have implemented a bit more besides just the barbed wire. So I feel like they're kind of missing that full representation of the city. Looking at their first rendition of their logo, it's definitely a big improvement, a jump from what they had before, with like the baby blue, I think it is. But even in that jersey as well, they have like the black at the top, where it's just the only thing there is the logo on the one side, and then you have the makers or the manufacturers of the jersey on the other side. And I feel like that's kind of space that could have been used to make the jersey what I think from a B to an A, maybe even higher than that.
Yeah, no, I'd put it as an A, but like again, looking at what we have there as an A, as we kind of you guys kind of both alluded to. It's missing the wow factor for me. It has representation. It's clean. I like the blue and black. It's a good jersey. It's a solid jersey. It's like a solid above average jersey. It's not quite based on what we've marked as an A. I think it's a perfect gradient, like a perfect balance between the A and B categories. Kind of segue between them. But yeah, it's just missing. I think honestly, I think that's the one jersey that with a little bit of an update, like a tweak, like just like one little thing, it would be B to an A. But overall, it's pretty solid.
I can live with the Austin jersey, but I look at it and I see it like.
I like Detroit better than New York because I have the Mets. I need some update.
Is exactly what I want on Ottawa.
I would say Detroit. Like I think for me, the only thing that's really keeping it in that level is the font and maybe just more implementation of the whole gears and the innovator theme, but and like thicker lines. But yeah, for me, I'd probably put that above Washington.
I'd be more harsh on Washington just because again, it's similar to New York. Those are two big cities in the US. You expect more from them, and that's the only reason why I'd be harsh on those two.
They're playing
probably above.
It's not like they're super fancy jersey or anything, but I think it's a solid jersey.
No,
I don't have a bunch of criticisms for it. So,
yeah, just on the top.
Now, let's go through some quick tiering. I'm not going to bother.
I prefer Austin over Ottawa. In this sense,
who cares? Out of the C category, New York or Detroit? Yeah. Detroit or Washington?
I think with Toronto, like they represented Canada, Toronto really well. I like the detail of the for me. I think it was just the font being white instead of gray. Like that would easily bump that up to like higher on the A list. So for me, it's definitely an A, but I'm not sure what the other ones.
Yeah, I'm okay leaving it as an A. I think the difference between A and B is like just the A.
But they definitely
like the representation factor is pretty. Like it should be pretty high, like a lot more valued. So I think that's why Toronto's slightly above Austin.
I feel pretty okay with that, unless you guys have any thoughts there.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's go.
Oh yeah.
So the question is Toronto, based on what we talked before, more here or more up here? Is there like a big gap between Toronto and Austin, or is there a
I would say mini, personally, but I'm being biased because again I like the white, but I just think that like I personally don't have a lot like against Minneapolis. Like it was I think I actually had it. Yeah, like I had it as like an S, like high A. So like if there was one for me, that's what I would put. But I mean, that's just my personal opinion. I'm kind of biased.
I like San Antonio with like the whole. They did something different, and they also implemented the shorts into the design as well.
Yeah, I think there's a bigger gap. Like
colors, I think maybe they used one color too many, but of course they kind of used all the colors from their their logo.
This kind
Um,
of
For me, the only thing holding me back from putting the Monarchs up is the orange. but I don't know. It's like how San Antonio's is something different.
Where
And
would you judge if
not playing it, but
one of these four here
standing out.
who do you think would deserve to be up in the S tier? Who wants to make a case for their jersey?
I probably keep those the same personally.
It's tough. It's like we're splitting hairs here. I think San Antonio is definitely the best A.
It's
Yeah.
actually the one thing I think I'd probably actually switch Charlotte with League City because the detail in Charlotte's jersey it's like throughout the whole thing. Where in League City it's just like the upper half, the bottom half is more just white. I feel like if they added that full design like all the way through, I would put it above Charlotte because I also like the colors better. I think they work better in that jersey than Charlotte's. But I think Charlotte probably does it does a really good job of doing it, like of representing the city, tying everything together. Has the wow factor, of course, but the whole detail in the main part of the jersey. So I'd probably put that above League Cities.
Like here, these three.
Yeah, I'm indifferent. I'm being like, it's you're splitting hairs here for me. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like I'm not a fan of the brown, but I get why it's there. It really doesn't matter in the order in that for me. Like the way I see it is just like it's like the A category. It's
First I'd buy a League City jersey, but because I don't like red, I don't like brown. I don't like the colors as much Charlotte, but being objective as possible, I think they did it better using the whole face. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say Rochester. I love white as like the main more than color. The whole it has everything. It represents Rochester. It has the wow factor. The detailing's good. The trim's good. The color scheme's good. The logo's good. Font's good. And again, I guess split in hairs. Like I'd buy both jerseys. I like I like how Boston is different. They go with a different route. For me, I don't even know I would say they're better than the other. I feel like it's just two different designs, two different ways of designing the jersey. Where I'd say they're both A or S plus or S for their own reason, and then I'd put the Monarchs below both of those. But if I had to pick one, I'd say Rochester, but I'd go with both.
Yeah, I agree. I'm being
Well, I'm gonna leave
but I
that
think
there because
they are two different designs. They're both
whatever.
I think the only reason why Boston isn't
This is number
above,
three.
again, it's splitting hairs for me. But I think the reason why it's not just that one step above is just without the shorts, it's a little bit kind of whatever. I think the shorts is like it shows where the pink is kind of originating from, whereas without it, it looks a little. It doesn't look weird. I still think it looks great. It looks fire, but I don't know. Just for me,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
just from
San Antonio.
purely jersey standpoint, I like Rochester's, but
Yep.
I think that's a solid list. I think that's as good as we can get it. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, let us know. We will post the MLQ jersey tier list we have here in our description box. So let us know what you think. Thanks so much for everyone for tuning in. We'll be back next week with MLQ action. Hopefully, we'll see. We are super excited to have MLQ returning. This is kind of like our teaser for the beginning of the season. We'll quickly plug our socials. Nate has it on our Instagram at CQQC _podcast. We'll post
It adds
sort of
to
our
it having
and whatnot
shorts.
there. And yeah, we'll be back hopefully next week with some MLQ action and some real Quidditch to be commentating about.
Yeah.
Super excited.
I want to be the contrarian.